got bounced in the first round 3 times and only made the conference finals twice. So, Shannon, how much was James Harden to blame for not winning a championship in Houston?
Well, Skip, I think he has to take the superstar, the great players on any team. When things don't go well, he has to take the lion's share of the blame for the simple fact when things do go well, who gets the lion's share of the credit? And so I think James Harden bears a lot because he's come up small. The Houston Rockets, Skip, everything since James Harden got there, everything that they did was with the thoughts of James Harden in mind. Who are the best pieces that we can put around him to make sure that he succeeds? Everything they did, Skip, whether it was bringing in Dwight Howard, whether it was bringing in Chris Paul, whether it was bringing in Russell Westbrook, Clint Capella, whomever they brought in, the style of play that they played was all conducive to give James Harden the best opportunity to win. And it didn't work out. You know, even though they brought in supporting Eric Gordon, can shoot the 3, he's been a starter, he comes off the bench. P.J. Tucker, who's the glue, he does it all. P.J. Tucker can't be more than 6'5", but he'll guard from anybody from A.D. to Jokic to Anthony Davis. He had the hardest job because he had to fight. And by game 4 or 5, Skip, he was exhausted, trying to battle Anthony Davis, trying to battle JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard for the entirety of a ball game. So he was exhausted. But, Skip, when I look at James Harden and look at what he's done in the playoffs, 2015, they benched him against the Clippers, and the Rockets made a big comeback. Remember, he had 12 turnovers, the most in a playoff game, elimination against the Warriors. He went 2-11 against the Spurs without Kawhi on his home court, lost by 39.
Without Tony Parker.
And without Tony Parker. They lost a 3-2 lead to the Warriors. He went 2 for 13 from 3 in Game 7 and couldn't do anything with the Warriors without Kevin Durant. So James Harden bears a lot of culpability in all of this. Is he the only reason? No. But I got to give him the lion's share of the blame because them making the playoffs and them numbers that he put up, he got the lion's share of the credit when they won. You must be willing to take the lion's share of the blame when you lose. So he bears a lot of culpability. He's not the sole reason, but he's the biggest reason.
Okay, when it comes to playoff flameouts, big moment flameouts, I will not even begin to try to defend James Harden because he is a flameout waiting to happen. He would be one guy I would trust the least. Not just in, it's not clutch last shot moments. It's like big game moments where he just disappears right on schedule when you need him the most.
Correct.
I give you that. In clutch situations, clutch games, he is nothing but a complimentary star that needs star power around him to carry him. And conversely, Kevin Durant, Kyrie, I've seen them be very clutch and take over games at the highest level of NBA Finals.
Well, I think the difference is now, Skip, KD did get to the finals with James Harden and Russ. But James Harden was in a situation, he was the de facto leader, the best player on that team. Now, we haven't seen Kyrie do anything close to what the success that he enjoyed when he's playing alongside LeBron. Now, Kevin Durant, yeah, he won those 2 finals, but you got to realize he had 2 other historically great players playing alongside him in Stephen Clay and Draymond.
He was the MVP.
Yes.
Back-to-back finals, and it both turned on the game 3s in LeBron's house in Cleveland, and Kevin just took over both of those games. And it took my breath away.
But, Skip, you also now, are you saying the pieces that James Harden had were comparable to the pieces that KD had?
No. So I'm going to give James Harden some break for what happened in Houston during regular seasons because I look at his regular seasons and I say, wait a second. Over the 8 years he was in, it's 8+ years if you count a little bit of this year. But let's just say it's more 8. In the 8 years he was in Houston, he had the 3rd most wins in basketball. In the games he played in, they won the 3rd most games in all of basketball. They averaged 53 wins a year. Well, as you know, that doesn't grow on Houston palm trees either. It doesn't. It's hard to find that. 53 wins a year. They're going to miss that starting right now. Right? Okay, so let's look at the help that he got. He had Dwight for 3 years, and they started out, they won 54, then they won 56, and the last year it fell completely apart, and they went 41-41, but they did make the playoffs. He made the playoffs every year for 8 straight years. And
that might be the longest streak, isn't it?
I don't know. Probably it is.
I can't, I guess KD. Did KD make the playoffs every year?
Let's see.
Because I know he obviously made it with the Golden State.
But I mean, he was gone last year, so yeah. But the point is,
well, he was on the roster, so no, he didn't.
No,
yeah, no, he didn't.
Well,
so.
he was on the roster.
Right.
Okay. So the point is, so first you go Dwight. Well, what had just happened to Dwight? Kobe had rejected him and just basically said, "You're done here."
Right.
And that was Kobe's doing. He just said, "You don't care enough. You don't take basketball seriously enough. You're out there warming up before games, shooting half-court hook shots." And Kobe said, I can't accept that. I can't live with
the backpack on?
Yeah, with the backpack on. Okay? So that's Dwight. You got the best of Dwight last year because he was on his best behavior.
Yeah.
And I thought he found his role. He swallowed his pride. And he said, you know what? I'm a backup. And I will come in for JaVale or whoever I'm going to come in for. And I'm going to mix it up, and I'm going to go sort of gray area, and I'm going to provide some edge and some physicality for your Lakers last year. That was the best you got of Dwight.
Playing good this year, too.
For the Sixers. It's a good fit. Okay. So, but it didn't work with James. But it's can you really trust Dwight? I wouldn't.
But, Skip, you look at Dwight's numbers. Dwight was still putting up phenomenal numbers.
Because he can. Look at it. Look at that body. Look at the rim protection he can provide. But it didn't work.
Didn't work.
Okay, so then we go to CP3. 2 years of Chris Paul.
Right.
Okay, what had happened with the Clippers? Well, he and Blake Griffin fell completely apart, and the whole organization seemed to be out on Chris because Chris is hard to get along with. And James tried, and they had that one magical run and got Golden State in a big hole, and Chris pulled his hamstring.
Right.
But it was working the best it could work.
Right.
Where has Chris been the best? Well, he was a solo superstar with those younger Pelicans. Remember that?
Yeah.
He's fine with that because you want to talk about ball dominant. It's just Chris or bust for those early Pelicans.
They were the Hornets then, weren't they?
Or whatever they were. I'm just calling them the Pelicans now. They were the Hornets. But now we fast forward to last year in Oklahoma City. Chris was great because he was the alpha and elder statesman on a young team.
Right.
Fast forward to Phoenix. He is the alpha and elder statesman on a young team. That will work.
Right.
But when you try to pair Chris up with a fellow superstar, he's going to clash. He's going to rub you the wrong way.
I think the thing that rubbed Chris Paul the wrong way, Skip, when he had the ball, James Harden seems uninterested.
All right.
He was like just standing in the corner. He was just like biding his time for him to have the ball back in his hand. And he's like, well, bruh, when you have the ball, we setting screens and we're interested. We're trying to do something, but you seem uninterested with someone other than you.
But they did have Golden State dead to rights in the conference finals, right?
Yes, they did. They did.
So they're like one big win away from going to the NBA finals together.
Well, Skip, hold on. If James Harden is that dude, if he's that dude, what you telling me, he got to bring that one home.
Okay, but he's not that dude to do that. I told you. He's a complimentary superstar who needs to be with Kevin and Kyrie.
What the hell, Skip? The man got 3 scoring titles. He's an MVP. He's in the MVP discussion every single year, and he complimentary.
What has happened at the highest level when you need him the most? He has not been there.
So, in other words, to make a long story short, you going to blame him for this, right? He get the bulk of the blame?
Bulk of the blame in Houston?
Yes.
Okay, what I'm trying to tell you is he got thrown into situations with guys who are really hard to play with and get along with because now we get to 1 year last year of Russell Westbrook.
Right.
What did Kevin Durant say about Russell Westbrook? I can't win a championship with him as the primary decision maker on my team because Russell every time brought the ball up the court. It was Russell's choice whether to shoot it, drive it and shoot it, pull up and shoot it, or dish it over on the wing to Kevin saying, I'm open, I'm over here.
I just want to ask you this.
Yep.
Dwight Howard, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook.
Yep.
Are they in Houston without James Harden's blessing?
No, but he said, I'll take them because they're all-star help, right?
Skip.
Okay, but can you condemn James for not being able to work with 3 guys who didn't work elsewhere?
But hold on. We're assuming that it's all them. What about James Harden? Skip, it's like, when you get a toy, I'm telling my grandma, I buy a toy, great, I want this. And she scrape up money and get it. And then after a day or two, I'm not playing with that toy. She said, boy, if you don't play with that toy, I'm going to tear your ass up. You asked for it. James Harden asked for Dwight Howard. He asked for Chris Paul. He asked for Russ and said, if you don't give me Russ, I'm going to request a trade.
Okay,
Skip,
and you know what? It worked last year. I thought they were really good together. I was more of a fan of them than you were. They went 44 and 28. They won game 1 against the Lakers. It was 112-97. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, but the thing is that, look, I understand you have friends and, you know, you grow up together, but it's a different animal, Skip, when you with that friend every single day. Russ and James, they good friends because, Skip, we play each other. Yeah, bro, how you doing? We maybe see each other play pickup basketball, maybe go grab a bite to eat. But then when you're around that friend every single day and you see those